Today you've really been talking about this rumble strip analogy.
Yes.
And I really like it. And
Which is the analogy that means tend to your vibration when you can do something about it. Don't wait until the momentum is so strong that you can't do something about it in this moment. It'll just keep you in balance more of the time. And it also points out that you easily do it in other aspects of your life. Why not get to the place where you're easily doing it relative to this thing that matters so much?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So obviously we don't want to end up in the ditch. So
even though you could get out.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And even though some of you like the drama of the ditch.
Absolutely. So how can we make sure that we're hearing the rumble strip?
There are some ways. One of the ways, the reason that we teach meditation is because the difference between a nap and meditation is that when you meditate, you release resistance. And the reason you release resistance is because you quiet your mind. And when you quiet your mind, you release thought. And when you release thought, you release resistant thought. So your vibration just naturally rises, and you can feel it happen. It's a more lasting change in your vibrational frequency. So if you meditate every day so that you are consciously aware of the shifting upward of your vibration, then you are more aware when you begin to deviate from it. So if your set point is here and some little problem happens, you're going to feel it. Where if your set point is here and some little problem happens, you're not going to feel it. In other words, that's why negative emotion gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, because you're oblivious to it. Sometimes people say, oh, it just came out of the blue. And we say, it didn't come out of the blue, it came out of the oblivious. But when you are meditating or basking or making lists of positive aspects or appreciating, then you're tuning yourself to those higher frequencies, which makes the lower frequencies more noticeable to you.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enough?
Absolutely.
We've enjoyed our conversations, both verbal and vibrational. There's a lot more going on here than you are hearing with your ears. There is a resonating that is taking place within you. And so you are more aware of vibration than you were when you got here. Not just because of what you are interpreting and contemplating with your mind, but there is a visceral, vibrational improvement that has occurred. In other words, one way of saying it is you just feel better. You just feel better. Life seems more manageable. Part of the reason that we want life to feel more manageable to you is because you've been trying to manage the parts that are not yours to manage. There's only one thing for you to manage, and that's your relationship with that broader perspective. It's your relationship with the things that you've been asking for. And when you tend to that, and when you come into vibrational alignment with that, then the clarity comes that takes care of everything else. You know, when you're really on your game, when you're really tuned in, you watch the basketball players or the football players or the hockey players. You watch those people that display for you their alignment. And aren't you amazed at their abilities to do things on a consistent basis that most people cannot ever do? In other words, when you couple together your physicality, which is so delicious, with your mental acuity, which is your focus, with your aligned energy and awareness and perspective of your source energy, you're putting yourself in a position for a magnificent life, not just down the road when your ship comes in, not just down the road when you've won the lottery or when you've found your mate or when. You've put yourself in a place where you can be living happily ever after, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. To be in sync with this energy that creates worlds, and to be lovingly, respectfully, meaning respecting yourself enough, anticipating that you get to own this energy and you get to flow it toward things that are important to you, and then you get to watch the cooperative universe agree with you, then and only then are you living your life as you intended when you decided to come. Not one of you said, I'll go forth and fix a broken world. You knew it wasn't broken. Not one of you said, I'll go forth and climb the rungs of a ladder and be better after this lifetime than I was before. Not one of you said, I will redeem myself, or I will help others redeem themselves. Not one of you said, I'll go and participate for the purpose of uplifting others, singularly. What you said instead is, I'm a powerful creator, and I know it. And this is the leading edge of thought that I'm focusing toward. And this is the best balance of diversity that exists anywhere in the universe. And I'm going to eagerly dive into it and get my footing and make my choices, constantly making new choices. And I'm going to relax into my worthy power, and I'm going to create my own reality. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with a lot of others in the process. You knew that there was nothing at stake. You knew that it wasn't a test. It wasn't a challenge. You knew that it was an opportunity to experience joy. You knew that the basis of this environment was absolute freedom, and you knew that you were so free that you could choose bondage if you wanted. You knew that the result of the constant exposure to life would be expansion. And oh, you like the idea of that because you are an eternal being, and eternal is forever, and that means expansion must occur. But your dominant intention, your reason for coming, it wasn't to demand freedom. You knew that was a given. And it wasn't for growth or expansion because you knew that was a given. But you came to exercise your ability to focus joyfully because you knew that was your choice. You knew that you could focus in joy and deprive yourself of the clarity that is your legacy. You knew that you could focus in joy and allow yourself alignment with the energy that creates worlds. And you knew that there would be plenty of others in plenty of relationships, in plenty of different places along that emotional scale to make it incredibly interesting. So you said, I joyfully go forth into this physical body, understanding with great clarity my personal guidance system. You said, I know that I will be a physical human extension of source energy, and I know that source energy will always know me as I am. You further said, I know that source energy will not only know me as I am as I'm coming forth, I know that my source energy will keep up with me as I have my expanding experience in this physical body. Did you hear that? I know that my inner being will expand with the expansion that I experience, and will stand in my vortex of creation, holding steady the vibrational frequency of all that I've become, so that in every moment of every day, I will be able to feel my in-the-moment relationship with my own expansion. Not expansion assigned by someone else, not expansion that someone else expects for me, but expansion that I have personally carved out of this life experience. My inner being will stand there with the light on, beaming to me constantly, never-endingly, that signal. And because my inner being will do that, I will always be able to feel where I stand in relationship to my furthermost expansion. So that is all that your emotions are. They are only your indicator of where you are standing in this moment with these thoughts in relationship to who you really are and what you've really become. That's why when we say to you, your inner being, focusing on you, knowing you, trusting you, and loving you, undivided attention upon you, is the only reason that you could ever feel negative emotion. So next time you feel negative emotion, you can say, damn you inner being, if you didn't love me so much, I couldn't feel this bad. If you weren't knowing what's possible for me, I wouldn't feel this bad in my own doubt. If you didn't know who I am, and the favorable outcome of this and this and this and this and this, then I couldn't be feeling this discord, you see. So now you know. Now you understand things that you have not understood so clearly before. And it is our absolute knowing that as you move forward from this spot, we told a group last week, you know, there is no future, and they all sort of panicked for a moment. They thought we were telling them the room was going to cave in on them. But what we were saying to them is, there is no future, because when it gets here, it will be now. Now, 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 where you have one thing to do. In your now, align with who you are, and live happily ever after. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain stubbornly, eternally